Hello everyone, welcome to another session of Young Roots, and this week we have got a story from the Bible which features an animal. But before we get started, let's have a worship song.
Light of the world, you step down into darkness. Open my eyes, let me see beauty that made this heart adore you. Hope of a life spent with you. So here I am to worship, here I am to bow down, here I am to say that you're my God. You're altogether lovely, altogether worthy, altogether wonderful to me. King of all days, oh so highly exalted, glorious in heaven above. Humbly you came to the earth you created, oh for love's sake became poor. So here I am to worship, here I am to bow down, here I am to say that you're my God. You're altogether lovely, altogether worthy, altogether wonderful to me. And I'll never know how much it cost to see my sin upon that cross. And I'll never know how much it cost to see my sin upon that cross. So here I am to worship, here I am to bow down, here I am to say that you're my God. You're altogether lovely, altogether worthy, altogether wonderful to me.
Now I did say that the Bible story this week features a certain animal. I wonder if you can guess which animal it is. Should I give you a clue? It's an animal which often features in our Christmas story. And it seems to have something to do with the journey of the wise men. Have you guessed which animal it is? Let's see if you are right. Yes, it's a camel. And Jesus was mentioning a camel in one of the stories that he was telling. Now, before we go on and think some more about that, I found a really good video which you might like to watch. And you can think about what Jesus was asking or telling us.
One day Jesus was talking to his friends when he said a really strange thing. He said, "It'll be very hard for a rich person to enter the kingdom of God. In fact, it'll be easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle." So what do you think Jesus meant? Let's see, shall we? Close to where Jesus was talking to his friends, there was a town. And surrounding the town was a really big, tall wall. In the wall was a little gate, and strangely, it had a really funny name. It was called the Eye of a Needle, because it was so little. Anyway, one day a camel arrived at the gate, but this was no ordinary camel. He was a very grand, proud and important camel, with a beautiful gleaming furry coat and a diamond-studded noseband. He'd got a fine saddle with expensive red tassels, and he even had his own servant boy to flick the flies away from him. He was loaded high with the finest Persian carpets to sell in the town's market. And as he approached the little gate, he said, "Oh, make way, make way, make way, everyone, I'm coming through." But oh no, wait for it, he's not coming through. He can't get through the hole. He's too big. "Try wriggling through backwards," said the boy, as he showed the camel how to do it. "Oh, camels never wriggle," said the camel. "But I'll try anyway," he added. The camel turned around and tried to push his bottom through the hole in the wall. He heaved and he pushed. He even tried a wriggle, but it was no use. He couldn't get through the gate. "I know," said the boy, "I'll unload you." So he untied the ropes and took off all the fine carpets and his diamond-studded noseband. "Now try again," said the boy. And the camel heaved, and he pushed, and he shoved, and he heaved, and he pushed, and he shoved. Wait, shouted the boy. "Your saddle keeps getting stuck. You'll have to let me take that off as well." So the boy took off the fine saddle. And you know what? Without his fine saddle and expensive red tassels and beautiful Persian carpets and his diamond-studded noseband, the camel didn't look so proud and important anymore. You know, he was just an ordinary camel. And this ordinary camel, once more, tried to get through the gate. He got down on his knees and he shuffled forward bit by bit and bit by bit until finally he was through. "Hooray! Hooray!" shouted the boy. "You're through! You're through!" So what did Jesus mean, do you think, when he said, "It'll be very hard for a rich person to enter the kingdom of God. In fact, it'd be easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle"? Well, the camel found it very hard to get through the gate called the eye of the needle. So I think that Jesus meant it's not what we do, or how important or rich we are, or which famous people we know that gets us into heaven. It's only by God's grace and mercy and our faith and trust in Jesus that actually gets us there.
A lot to think about in that story. And Jesus was saying it's easier for a camel, which is a lot bigger than this toy one, to pass through the eye of a needle, and this needle's got quite a big eye, than it is for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. And you can see that would be very, very difficult. Now, the camel in the video that we've just watched was weighed down with lots and lots of carpets on his back and a beautiful, rich saddle. And no matter how much he wriggled and tried to squeeze through that little gate, he couldn't do it. But what did he have to do? He had to let go of all the carpets, let go of his saddle, and just be himself, but not be weighed down with all those extra things. So I wonder what Jesus was trying to say to us. We might not be weighed down with carpets and a big saddle, but we do get weighed down with some other things. I can say that myself. Sometimes we spend far too long on our phones, playing with video games or looking at screens. And when someone asks us for help, particularly our parents, and says, "Can you help me? Can you tidy?" And the things that we should be doing, we're too busy with other things. And then there are things that we need, but other things that we just want. And we don't need them, but then we get more bothered about somebody having better trainers than us or having a better game. So there's lots of things that get in the way of us looking after other people and doing the right thing. And Jesus is saying, it doesn't have to be money. It could be your phone. It could be things that you just don't take any notice of other people because you are so busy doing something for yourself. Now, that doesn't mean to say Jesus doesn't want us to have fun, but I've got something here which might help us to remember which things come first. A little while ago, I was showing you an easy way to draw a heart, because if we get our heart right, then we'll get our lives right. And it's the things that we put into our lives that shape the person we are. So if you remember, we got some paper, I folded it in half, and then I drew half of a heart shape. And I'm going to cut round it very carefully. There we are. And when I open it up, I have got a heart shape. But I actually did a red one. I've done a big red heart. And I've cut some shapes out of the green paper. And I've put some of the things on which I want in my life to fit into my heart. My family, and I'm going to stick them on. My friends, school. What else have I got? Helping other people. You'll have lots of things. It might be brownies, it might be scouts, because Jesus still wants us to have some fun, but we've just got to get it right. Because where I'm going to leave a space is right in the center of my heart. And in the center of my heart is God and Jesus. Because Jesus wants to be there. He wants to help us when we're way down with all those things that trouble us sometimes and we can't do the right thing. When we're unhappy, when we're sad, when we're full of fun, but Jesus is there. And all these other things get in the way of talking to him, reading our Bibles, and doing things for other people. So perhaps you might like to cut out a heart and put the things into your heart shape that you really need and that are really good things. But don't forget to put God and Jesus in the middle.
In my wrestling and in my doubts, in my failures, you won't walk out. Your great love will lead me through. You are the peace in my troubled sea. Oh, you are the peace in my troubled sea. In the silence, you won't let go. In the questions, your truth will hold. Your great love will lead me through. You are the peace in my troubled sea. Whoa, you are the peace in my troubled sea. My lighthouse, shining in the darkness, I will follow you. My lighthouse, I will trust the promise. You will carry me safe to shore, safe to shore, safe to shore, safe to shore. I won't fear what tomorrow brings. With each morning I'll rise and sing. My God's love will lead me through. You are the peace in my troubled sea. Whoa, you are the peace in my troubled sea. My lighthouse, shining in the darkness, I will follow you. My lighthouse, I will trust the promise. You will carry me safe to shore, safe to shore, safe to shore, safe to shore. Fire before us, you're the brightest. You will lead us through the storms. Fire before us, you're the brightest. You will lead us through the storms. Fire before us, you're the brightest. You will lead us through the storms. Fire before us, you're the brightest. You will lead us through the storm. My lighthouse, shining in the darkness, I will follow you. My lighthouse, I will trust the promise. You will carry me safe to shore, safe to shore, safe to shore, safe to shore.
Last week in church, I was using bubbles and I had a pot over, and I thought that it might be a nice idea to help me remember about letting go and letting Jesus help me with my life and to blow away the things that bother me and trouble me. So I thought I will do that now in a bubble prayer. And as I blow, I'm asking Jesus to take away the things that trouble me and to help me to find space in my life for the right things and the things things I really need.